The road to Silent Hollow is lost to time, overgrown, reclaimed by nature. What was once a bustling pathway is now a mere memory, swallowed by the relentless march of time, a testament to the fleeting nature of memory. Each step taken here feels like walking through the echoes of the past. The town itself is a skeleton, picked clean by the wind and bleached by the sun. Its bones tell stories of a life that once was, now reduced to whispers in the wind. Buildings stand empty, windows like vacant eyes. They stare out, unblinking, as if waiting for someone who will never return. A church steeple juts skyward, a broken finger pointing accusingly at the heavens. It stands as a silent witness to the passage of time and the abandonment of faith. This is a place where hope died long ago, only silence remains. The air is thick with the weight of forgotten dreams and unfulfilled promises. There is an unsettling stillness here. It feels as though the town itself is holding its breath, waiting for something that will never come. No birdsong, no rustling leaves. The usual symphony of nature is conspicuously absent, replaced by an eerie, oppressive silence. Even the wind seems to hold its breath as it passes through the crumbling streets. Its whispers are barely audible, carrying secrets of the past. It whispers tales of forgotten tragedies, of lives abruptly ended. Each gust seems to carry a fragment of sorrow, a piece of a story left untold. They linger in the air, heavy and cold. The atmosphere is thick with the remnants of grief and loss, almost tangible in its intensity. This is not a place for the living. It is a realm where the past holds sway and the present feels like an intruder. It is a sanctuary for shadows. Here they find refuge, dancing in the corners and whispering in the dark, forever bound to this forgotten town. At the edge of town, shrouded by a perpetual gloom, stands a house. Or perhaps it's more accurate to say that something occupies the space where a house once stood. It rises from the overgrown lawns like a jagged tooth, silhouetted against the bruised sky. This is no ordinary dwelling. This is a monument to despair. Its paint is long gone, stripped away by time and weather, revealing rotting wood beneath. The windows, where not boarded over, are like empty sockets staring out blindly. The porch sags dangerously, threatening to collapse in on itself. This house is not merely old, it is actively decaying, eaten away by some unseen blight. The front door hangs precariously from its hinges, a silent invitation into the abyss. A single push is all it takes to breach the threshold, to step from the world of the living into the embrace of something ancient and hungry. The air inside is thick with the stench of mildew and decay. Dust motes dance in the faint slivers of light that pierce the gloom. The floorboards groan ominously underfoot, threatening to give way. Shadows stretch and writhe in the corners, playing tricks on the eyes. There's a palpable weight to the silence here, a sense of something vast and malevolent pressing in from all sides. It feels like the house itself is watching, judging, waiting for the precise moment to strike. The interior of the house is a labyrinth of narrow, twisting corridors and rooms that seem to shift and rearrange themselves with every blink. Time itself feels fractured here, unreliable. Minutes stretch into hours, hours compress into heartbeats. The air grows colder with every step, the stench of decay more overpowering. Cobwebs, thick as shrouds, cling to every surface. Furniture draped in dust-covered sheets looms in the shadows like phantoms. Each room seems to hold its own unique brand of horror, whispering forgotten secrets to the darkness. The house is a repository of nightmares, each one more terrifying than the last. Section 5. Ascent to Madness. A narrow creaking staircase leads to the attic, each step a reluctant journey further into the heart of darkness. The wood groans underfoot as if warning you to turn back, but curiosity pushes you onward. The air here is stagnant, heavy with the weight of unspoken tragedies. It's as if the very walls are whispering secrets, tales of sorrow and despair that have been long forgotten. Dust falls like snow from the rafters, coating everything in a fine layer of oblivion. Each particle seems to carry a fragment of the past, settling on relics that have not been touched for decades. The attic is the darkest part of the house, a place where even the shadows seem to fear to tread. It's a realm where light struggles to penetrate, leaving corners shrouded in perpetual gloom. A single bare light bulb dangles precariously from the ceiling, casting a sickly yellow glow that only serves to accentuate the shadows. The light flickers occasionally, as if it too is afraid of what it might reveal. In the centre of the room, a rocking chair creaks rhythmically back and forth, as though propelled by an unseen hand. The chair's movement is hypnotic, drawing you in with its eerie, repetitive motion. The air crackles with anticipation, pregnant with the promise of something terrible about to unfold. Every creak, every whisper of the wind seems to herald the arrival of an unspeakable horror lurking just beyond the edge of perception. Section 6. Whispers from the Earth. The house stands upon a foundation of secrets. Beneath its rotting floorboards lies an ancient burial ground, a resting place for souls denied peace. Their whispers seep up through the cracks, weaving themselves into the very fabric of the house. They are the source of the nightmares, the architects of despair. The spirits are trapped here, bound to the house by some unseen force. They yearn for release, for vengeance against the living who dare to intrude upon their domain. Their rage is palpable, a living presence that chills the bone and whispers dark promises in the dead of night. They are the true masters of this house, and woe betide those who forget it. Section 7. The Price of Curiosity. Many have dared to enter the house of eternal nightmares, drawn by morbid curiosity or a desire to prove their bravery. None have escaped unscathed. Some are driven mad, their minds shattered by the horrors they witness within. Others vanish without a trace, swallowed whole by the darkness. The house claims its victims with a chilling indifference. They become part of the house, their fear and despair adding fuel to the fire that burns within. Their screams echo through the corridors, a chilling reminder of the price of trespass. The house is a predator, lying in wait for unsuspecting prey. And once it has you in its grasp, it will never let you go. Section 8. Guardians of the Damned. There are whispers of others, those who have not merely succumbed to the house's influence, but have become one with it. They are the guardians, bound to serve the house and its dark purpose. Their eyes burn with an unholy light, their touch chills the soul. They are forever changed, their humanity sacrificed at the altar of eternal darkness. They wander the halls, their footsteps silent, their presence heralded by a sudden drop in temperature. They are the keepers of the house's secrets, the enforcers of its will. Their touch is said to be a fate worse than death, for it binds you to the house, trapping you in an endless cycle of suffering. Section 9. A Nightmare Made Flesh. The House of Eternal Nightmares is more than just a building. It stands as a monument to fear, a structure that has witnessed countless horrors and continues to emanate an aura of dread. It is a living nightmare, a place where the veil between reality and the spectral realm wears thin. Here, the boundaries between the known and the unknown are almost non-existent, creating an ethereal atmosphere that chills to the bone. It feeds on fear, on despair, on the very essence of what it means to be human. Every scream, every shiver, every drop of sweat fuels its insatiable hunger, making it grow stronger and more malevolent. It is a cancer on the landscape, a festering wound on the face of the earth. This blight on the environment corrupts everything it touches, spreading its dark influence far and wide. To step inside is to take a journey into the abyss, a descent into the darkest recesses of the human psyche. It is an exploration of our deepest fears, a confrontation with the shadows that lurk within us all. It is a place where logic and reason hold no sway, where the lines between life and death blur and eventually dissolve. In this house, the rules of the natural world are twisted and broken, leaving visitors questioning their own sanity. It is a place where nightmares are given form, where fear takes on a life of its own. Here, the terrifying manifestations of our darkest thoughts and fears become all too real, haunting every corner and shadow. Section 10. Will you answer the call? The House of Eternal Nightmares still stands, a monument to despair on the outskirts of a forgotten town. It beckons to those who seek answers in the shadows, to those who crave a taste of the unknown. It promises knowledge, power, but at a terrible cost. Are you brave enough to answer its call? Will you step across the threshold and face the darkness within? Or will you turn away, content to let its secrets remain buried beneath layers of dust and decay? The choice is yours, but choose wisely, for the house is always watching, and it remembers those who dare to look upon its face.